Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good morning. Today I'm going live and we're talking about how to stay on track, keto, paleo on vacation, on holiday. And, it's tough because you kind of have to prepare a little bit in advance and be aware of where you're going as far as your cafes and restaurants, fast food, even, and sort of plan an itinerary so that you're not caught off guard and left, in a struggle. So, good morning. It's 10 a.m. It's a beautiful Monday. I hope you have your coffee ready. I know I do. Mm. So I do a lot of day trips and I do a lot of overnight trips. And very rarely do I leave for a multiple day vacation or stay. But I have, and I did do it recently. So and I prepared in advance for that. So I wrote down some bullet points so that I don't forget anything. So, one thing that's important to note here is the importance of traveling with food and seasonings and being prepared. So, I'll pack tea bags, I'll pack coffee, definitely the sparkling water. I will make a hot coffee and a cold coffee. I take a small cooler with me and I stuff that with all of my goodies like butter, beef jerky for sure, um, pork rinds, string cheese is a big one. And the cheese crackers, the Parmesan cheese crackers, those are so easy to make and you can make them in different flavors. And I make those in advance and put them in little containers and I have them. I also take avocado in my little cooler and pork rinds. I already said that. Another thing is if you're on keto, don't be afraid to pack a few of your keto cookies that are made with protein powder, maybe some allulose, because if that's what you do. I don't do a lot of keto, but I will do keto sometimes, very rarely, only because it does not work for my body and it does not work sustainably for me long term. Okay, but if you are on keto, let me know in the comments on the side panel there on the live chat. Join in, say hello, let me know that you're here. It also lets the algorithm on YouTube know that you are here. Okay, so let me see what else I jotted down. So I do travel with my supplements because I never want to be caught without them. So the last time, because I was gone for several days, I actually took a hot water kettle with me because I did not know if the hotel would have a hot water kettle for me. So I did take a hot water kettle just to be on the safe side. But what else did I take? It says right here. I took my collagen. I took my collagen peptides. Nothing is sponsored on this channel. So I don't want you to think that I'm advertising, but I'm not advertising. In fact, use whatever collagen works for you. I just use whatever I use different kinds of collagen. I have multiple collagens like 1 through 5 in one. I have regular collagen peptides. I use different kinds of collagen peptides. I have some that on the label it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types. So another one is the creatine. I travel with my creatine, always with my creatine. Again, I'm not promoting their products. These may not work for you. But these I use different name brands. I don't have a specific name brand, but I do use creatine monohydrate in my coffee every single day. So I do take that with me. Another thing I take with me is these little squirt things that you can put into your water. Some have 0 calories, have some have maybe 2 calories, others are sugar-free. I don't know every single manufacturer of this type of a little product here that it's a flavoring that you squirt into your plain water or your sparkling water, okay? Another thing is I make my seasonings, right? And this is a seasoning that I make from organ meats. It's completely dry. This is made from beef and pork and lamb and chicken. And it's made from heart, liver, kidneys, spleen, lungs. And what I do is I'll pressure cook them, chop them up in tiny pieces, and then dehydrate them and grind them up in my Vitamix and make this seasoning. Now you could keep it as is, or you can even add, like, I mean, I have one where I've added some ketovore ingredients like salt and pepper, right? Because that's not carnivore, that's ketovore. And the you could add like oregano or different rosemary, red pepper flakes. Seasoning is really important to me and to my food. So I season all my food. Okay, I always season my food. And another thing that I take with me everywhere I go is my methylene blue. I'm not advertising products, so I'm just showing you the methylene blue. So I do take with me. I even take a little bit of coffee with me because I don't know if the hotel or motel I'm staying in is going to have coffee for me. One thing that I do, and I think I wrote it here, is I stay where they do not serve breakfast. I don't want to be tempted by their products, their breakfast, their items. I'm not interested in selecting from their items because a lot of them will have this little tiny little food bar with like cereals and oatmeal, and they'll have things like toast. I'm not interested. I'd rather find a local cafe that I can walk to early in the morning and select eggs, bacon, sausage, steak, a burger patty, something that's going to satiate me for the rest of the day, that they can serve me, that I know that they offer on their menu. Maybe they don't have a plate that's listed on the menu that's specifically, eggs and bacon and sausage without the toast and the pancakes, right? But I can certainly ask my food server if they can make accommodations for me. And many times they do, and they're happy to make those accommodations for me. So maybe that can work for you as well. Walking to the local restaurant, walking to the local cafe, as opposed to just walking to the hotel lobby and getting danishes, is going to be a lot better for me. And that works for me every single time. Hopefully, it works for you. I do travel with flavored water. So, whether it's sparkling or flavored. Another thing is, if I'm out with a group of people and I'm mingling and everyone's having something to drink, you know what I'll do is I will have a Coke Zero. I will have a Pepsi Zero. I will have a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi. And because that's a little strong for me, what I like to do is I like to mix 50-50 with sparkling water or regular plain water. Um, so I'm okay with that. I just became okay with that. It's a recent thing. They have 0 calories. They do have some toxins like aspartame in there, but you know what? I breathe the air too. So, let's see. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything, and I already talked about that. And I already went through this. So I do, it's so important to travel with things that you know you may have a hard time sourcing locally. Coconut oil if you need it, butter if you need it, especially if you're on vacation and you're in a vacation area or a tourist area. There may not be grocery stores around, or you may not feel like going to a grocery store. So I avoid grocery stores. So I do take certain things with me. Another thing is I try to plan my meals. So if I'm going, I will select a really nice cafe for my one meal a day. Is that going to be breakfast? It could be breakfast on one day, and it could be lunch on another day, and it could be dinner on another day. So I like to space things out. But generally speaking, I usually eat every 23 to 24 hours. And my meal could last anywhere from 1 to 1.5 hours. And if I'm going to have a dessert, I always select berries because they're so low on the glycemic index. Let me know in the comments on the side panel whether or not you're on berries right now, or are you completely off berries, because that's interesting, right? A lot of people don't eat any berries at all, whereas I did not eat any fruit or any berries for the first year. So that's a recent additive. And I'm pretty partial to blueberries. And right now, I'm also reintroducing the Greek yogurt. I'm introducing, I should say, not reintroducing. I'm introducing yogurt with the blueberries. And if I want to make something sweet, I use allulose, and I try not to use a lot of it because of the side effects. So I do use a little bit of allulose if I want it to taste sweet without the calories and without the glycemic index jumping sky high, or my insulin being spiked and trying to, push all that um, insulin into the cells and getting rid of the sugar out of my blood because it's trying to save my life, right? So just being careful, I guess. So yes, I do use stevia. I use stevia glycerite, which I learned about that from Maria Emmerich. I did learn about about that. And it works really well when you combine the two. And one thing I did discover is I do not like any sweetener in my coffee anymore. I don't appreciate sweet coffee anymore. So I tried to reintroduce sweetness into my coffee, and it was a great put off. So I do prefer my coffee plain. Mm. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Polly's podcast this beautiful Monday morning, where we're talking about how to stay on carnivore when you're on holiday, when you're on vacation, and some of the tips and tricks that I've used to stay on track when I'm away all day. So, another important thing is to always keep myself busy. And I do keep myself busy, because usually when I'm away and busy. I'm in meetings, and then I have things to do, and I have lots of errands to run. So I'm really careful about not having downtime. So when I do get that urge, so in some of my other videos, you'll see me say there's a difference between hunger and hunger. And so I can subdue hunger because it is an emotional, hormonal thing. So I can subdue that with maybe a glass of salt water, which I do travel with salt. Or I can subdue that with some black coffee. It doesn't have to be a whole big giant cup. It could be a small one. It could even be a non-caffeinated drink, especially in the afternoon. I don't like to drink caffeine. So I'll do like a caffeine free. Um, so that's it helps me. Another thing that helps me is Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, a Pepsi Zero, Coke Zero. It does help, and it doesn't spike in my insulin at all. So again, what I like to do is mix that 50-50 because it is kind of strong for me. Again, that's not every single day. It's not 5 or 6 times a day. This is once in a while. And it's usually during an emergency. But when it comes to my actual hunger, I know when I'm ready to stuff with protein. And, when I'm away, these are the tips and tricks that I use that have really helped me so much. And I hope that they help you. Let me know in the comments below if you have tips and tricks that you could share with all of us here on Polly's podcast about how you stay on track when you're away for the whole day or half the day, or when you're away for several days and traveling and holiday and vacationing, and what you're doing that really helps you. So one thing I do avoid is vitamins and things of that nature. But what I will take is salt and then potassium with me. Um, and it does really help. It helps a lot. Also, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe. It just helps to get the word out that Polly's podcast is here and we're generating this type of content. And it helps others who are looking for this kind of content find this channel. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I go live, every time that I post a video. Please come back and share our videos here, Polly's podcast videos on your social media. You're free to do so. So let's see here. Let me see what I've got. Let's see. Okay. What do we have? Do we have anybody chatting? Let's see. Who's chatting? Who? Let's see. Let's see. Are we not? I don't see anything on the chat. So, okay. All right. So, I hope this helped you today, and I hope you're having a fabulous day. For some reason, I can't see the chat. It says that something went wrong. So I don't know what's happening with the chat. I don't know if you're seeing it on your end, but I'm not on my end. So, so, so very sorry. So until next time, thank you for joining me here on Polly's podcast. Have a beautiful day, and I hope to catch you again soon. And until next time, hey, toodles and stay on track.